Ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about something that truly sets the winners apart from the rest. How to act as if nothing affects you. In life, challenges, setbacks, and disappointments are inevitable. But your response to them? That's entirely up to you. Now, acting like nothing affects you doesn't mean ignoring the reality of your circumstances or pretending that life is all sunshine and rainbows. It means developing a mindset and an attitude where your inner peace, your drive, and your commitment to success remain unshaken, no matter what happens around you. It means controlling how you react rather than allowing circumstances to control you. The first thing you need to understand is that life's challenges are part of the process. They're not here to stop you, but to teach you, to refine you, and to push you to become better than you were yesterday. When you allow yourself to be constantly swayed by your environment, you're giving away your power. But when you learn to keep moving forward regardless of what life throws at you, that's when you gain true strength. So how do you start living this way? You begin by conditioning your mind to focus on the things that truly matter, the bigger picture, the long-term goals, and your vision for the future. You stop letting petty things or temporary setbacks pull you off course. Remember, challenges don't last forever, but your ability to remain steadfast, your resilience, your inner strength, these are the qualities that will see you through to success. So act as if nothing affects you. Let the world spin around you, but don't let it knock you down. Stay focused, stay calm, and keep pushing forward. One of the most powerful things you can learn in life is the ability to control your responses. You see, the world is going to throw all sorts of things your way. People will challenge you, life will test you, and circumstances will change without warning. But here's the key. None of these things have control over you, unless you give it to them. It's not the event that defines you, it's how you respond to it. When you find yourself in difficult situations, it's easy to let your emotions take over. Anger, frustration, fear, they can all rise up like a flood, overwhelming your mind. But the truth is, those emotions don't help you solve the problem, they just create more chaos. The most successful people in life have learned that staying calm, staying focused, and thinking clearly in the face of adversity is what separates them from the rest. Now, this doesn't mean you become emotionless. No, you're human. Feel your feeling. But when you learn to pause, take a breath, and choose your response deliberately, you take back your power. You gain control. When you react impulsively, you hand that control over to whatever is happening in the moment. When you take a moment to choose how to respond, you are in the driver's seat. It's in these moments of choice that your character is forged. Every time you resist the urge to react in haste, you build a muscle of resilience and emotional intelligence. This isn't about denying your feelings or pretending that things don't matter. It's about rising above them and making decisions that align with your values, your goals, and your long-term vision. If you're in a tough situation, don't let the heat of the moment dictate your next move. Think about your response and ask yourself, what's the best course of action? That is the power you have. And the more you practice this, the easier it becomes. Eventually, controlling your responses won't be a conscious effort. It will become your default way of handling life's challenges. And when you do that, the world may change around you, but you will remain steady, unshaken, and able to make the best decisions possible. When you master the art of controlling your responses, you position yourself for success in every area of life. In life, it's easy to get caught up in the small details, the daily grind, the immediate problems that seem so pressing. But if you spend all your time focusing on what's happening right in front of you, you risk losing sight of what truly matters. The key to lasting success lies in your ability to focus on the bigger picture. It's like being on a long journey. Along the way, you'll encounter bumps in the road, detours, and obstacles. But if all you focus on is the next step or the next hill, you'll miss the view from the mountaintop. You won't see the beautiful landscape that stretches for miles ahead. That bigger vision, the end goal, is what will keep you moving forward, even when the path gets tough. Life's challenges are often temporary. Problems come and go, but if you focus on them too much, they'll consume your energy, your time, and your thoughts. The secret to navigating through those challenges is to keep your eyes on the horizon. Understand that every small step, every setback, every lesson learned is part of a much bigger plan, one that unfolds over time. When you focus on the bigger picture, you realize that the minor frustrations of today are just fleeting moments. They don't define your entire journey. Whether it's a business setback, a personal disappointment, or a tough day, you must remind yourself that these things are small in comparison to the grand vision you're building for yourself. Don't get sidetracked by temporary obstacles. It's important to maintain clarity about your long-term goals. That clarity will be your guiding star, keeping you focused and motivated, even when life tries to distract you. Think about where you want to be a year from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now. Every decision you make today should be made with that bigger vision in mind. If you only look at the problems you face today, you'll miss the opportunities that lie ahead. The bigger picture is about your values, your purpose, and your long-term vision for success. When you focus on those, it becomes much easier to keep moving forward, regardless of what challenges arise. Every effort, every sacrifice, every moment of perseverance becomes meaningful because it's taking you closer to the life you're building. In the end, life isn't just about the day-to-day struggles, it's about the journey and the vision. So no matter how tough it gets, remember, always keep your eyes on the bigger picture. Let that vision guide your actions, and don't let the small things take your focus away. Keep moving toward the life you've envisioned, and in time, you'll see that all those small challenges will have been worth it. Strength doesn't come from the outside, it doesn't come from applause, approval, or the absence of problems. Real strength, the kind that lasts, comes from within. It's not something you borrow, it's something you build. You can have all the support in the world, but if you don't have that quiet resolve inside of you, you'll crumble when the storms come. And make no mistake, storms will come. Life will test you. People will disappoint you. Plans will fall apart. But here's the truth. When you've done the work to build strength on the inside, you can weather anything. Inner strength isn't loud. It doesn't always show up with fanfare. Sometimes it's just the quiet decision to get back up when no one's watching. Sometimes it's choosing discipline over comfort. Sometimes it's saying no when everything in you wants to say yes. That's strength. And it's built one choice at a time. You don't build strength by avoiding difficulty. You build it by going through difficulty. You build it by showing up, even when it's hard. By doing the right thing, even when it's not easy. Every time you choose responsibility over excuses, growth over comfort, consistency over feelings, you're building strength. And the beautiful part is, once you've built that kind of strength, no one can take it from you. It's not dependent on circumstances. It's not shaken by criticism or failure. It's yours. It lives in the way you think, the way you carry yourself, the way you respond when things don't go your way. You see, the strongest people aren't the ones who never face hardship. They're the ones who've learned to rise in the middle of it. They've trained their minds, guarded their hearts, and learned how to stand tall when life tries to knock them down. So if you're facing something tough right now, good. That means you're in the gym of life, building the kind of strength that matters most. Don't look outside for the answer. Look within. That's where your power lives. And when you find it, when you really tap into it, you become unshakable. Setbacks happen to all of us. No one goes through life without facing delays, disappointments, or detours. The difference isn't in who faces them, it's in how you handle them. What you do when life knocks you down says a lot more about you than the fall itself. The fall isn't the end, it's just a part of the journey. You can't let a single moment, or even a string of tough moments, define who you are. A setback is just feedback. It's life saying, let's adjust the plan, let's learn something here, let's try again but better. But if you treat that setback like a finish line, if you let it label you, limit you, or make you quit, then you've given it more power than it deserves. You are not your worst day. You're not your past mistake. You're not that missed opportunity or that door that closed. You are what you do next. You're defined by how you bounce back, by the lessons you carry forward, by the growth that comes from the experience. Think of all the people who've achieved great things. They all have stories filled with failure, rejection, and What sets them apart is that they didn't stay stuck in that moment. They used it. They got back up, looked in the mirror and said, this isn't how my story ends. The truth is, sometimes a setback is exactly what you need to become who you were meant to be. It forces you to reevaluate, to dig deeper, to grow in ways you wouldn't have if everything had gone according to plan. It reveals character, and it builds perseverance. So when life pushes you down, don't let it convince you that you're done. Get up, dust yourself off, adjust your approach if you need to, but keep going. Your future isn't written by your setbacks, it's written by your comeback. Keep writing. Resilience. It's one of the most valuable traits you can develop. Because let's face it, life isn't always going to go according to plan. The road to success isn't a straight line. It's filled with twists, turns, ups, downs, and sometimes full stops. But what determines whether you keep going isn't how smooth the road is, it's how resilient you are. Resilience is the ability to keep moving forward when everything in you wants to quit. It's the decision to stand back up one more time than you've been knocked down. It's not about never falling. It's about refusing to stay down. The people who achieve great things aren't the ones who had it easy. They're the ones who refused to give up, no matter how hard it got. When things go wrong, and they will, It's your resilience that will carry you through. You might not have all the answers. You might not even have all the resources. But if you've got resilience, you've got a shot. Because resilience says, this isn't how my story ends. I may be delayed, but I'm not defeated. Life will test you. Business will challenge you. Relationships will stretch you. But every time you keep going, every time you endure a little longer, every time you push through the discomfort, you become stronger. You build emotional muscle. You develop a kind of inner grit that can't be taught in books or seminars. It can only be earned in the field of life. You've got to be tougher than your circumstances. You've got to develop that mental backbone that says, no matter what comes, I'll figure it out. I'll keep showing up. That's resilience. And once it becomes part of you, you stop being afraid of failure. You stop avoiding difficulty because you know you can handle it. Resilience turns average into extraordinary. It turns small beginnings into great outcomes. It doesn't guarantee the path will be easy, but it guarantees you'll still be standing when others have walked away. So whatever you're going through, keep going. Resilience doesn't just help you survive, it helps you win. Mindset is everything. It's where the game is truly won or lost. Not in your circumstances, not in your bank account, not even in your talent, but in your thinking. The way you see the world, the way you see yourself, the way you interpret the things that happen to you, that's what shapes your outcomes. You can have all the skills, all the tools, all the opportunities lined up, but if your mindset is off, none of it will matter. You'll talk yourself out of chances. You'll find excuses instead of solutions. You'll focus on problems instead of possibilities. But if your mind is sharp, focused, and disciplined, even limited resources won't stop you. You'll find a way. See, your mind is the steering wheel of your life. Where it points, you go. If you're always thinking negative, expecting failure, fearing the worst, guess what? That becomes your reality. Not because life is against you, but because your thinking keeps you stuck in a pattern. But when you shift your mindset to growth, to faith, to purpose, everything changes. You start to rise. You've got to train your thinking like you would a muscle. Don't just let thoughts run wild. Take charge. Be intentional. Feed your mind with ideas that stretch you, challenge you, build you. Surround yourself with people who think bigger. Read things that push your perspective. Speak words that reflect where you're going, not where you've been. And here's the truth. Mindset isn't just about being positive. It's about being prepared. It's about building a foundation so strong that when the winds come, you don't break. You adapt. You learn. You grow. Because your mind is set not on comfort, but on purpose. Not on surviving, but on thriving. So if you want to change your life, start with your thinking. Upgrade your mindset and the rest will follow. Because once your mind believes it's possible, you'll find the energy, the courage, and the discipline to make it happen. Everything begins up here, so guard it, grow it, and guide it well. You are not your circumstance. That's one of the most important truths you can ever grab hold of. Because if you're not careful, life will try to convince you that where you are is who you are. But that's a lie. Your current situation is just a chapter, not the whole story. Maybe you're in a tough spot right now. Maybe the money's tight, the doors are closing, the pressure is high. That's real, no doubt about it. But it's not the definition of you. Circumstances are temporary. Who you are is something much deeper. It's in your choices, your vision, your values, your discipline. It's in how you show up when everything around you seems to be falling apart. You see, there are people who grew up with nothing and built something extraordinary. And there are others who had every advantage and still ended up stuck. What's the difference? Not the circumstances, it's what they believed about themselves in spite of those circumstances. They refused to let their environment dictate their destiny. If you let your circumstances define you, you'll limit yourself. You'll only reach as far as your surroundings allow. But if you understand that you have the power to rise above, to grow beyond, to move forward no matter where you start, you become unstoppable. Your future isn't determined by what's happening around you, it's shaped by what's happening inside you. So don't let a season fool you into thinking it's your identity. Just because things are hard now doesn't mean they'll stay that way. Just because you've failed before doesn't mean you're a failure. The real question is, what are you going to do next? Because that's where your power is, in your response, in your decisions, in your ability to keep going. Your circumstances can change, and they will. But you've got to make sure your mindset, your character, and your purpose stay strong in the process. Don't build your identity around a situation that was only meant to grow you. You're not stuck unless you decide to be. And the moment you realize that, you start writing a new story. One where the past didn't define you, but prepared you. Consistency over convenience. That's one of the greatest lessons you'll ever learn if you want real success. See, convenience is easy. It feels good in the moment. It's the extra hour of sleep, the skipped workout, the task you'll do tomorrow. But convenience doesn't build greatness. Convenience builds comfort, and comfort is where dreams go to die. Consistency, on the other hand, isn't always fun. It's not always exciting. Sometimes it's boring. Sometimes it's hard and most of the time it's inconvenient. But consistency gets results. It builds habits, it compounds effort, and over time it turns small daily disciplines into massive achievements. You've got to show up even when you don't feel like it. You've got to put in the reps even when the motivation's gone. You've got to keep pushing forward, especially on the days when it would be easier to coast. That's where the growth happens, not when it's easy, but when it's tough and you keep going anyway. People often say they want to be successful, but what they really mean is they want it when it's convenient. They want to grow when it's easy, improve when it's comfortable, and succeed when everything lines up just right. But life doesn't work that way. The ones who win are the ones who are willing to do what's required even when it's inconvenient. You don't build a strong body with one workout. You don't build a great business with one good week. You don't build character with one tough decision. It's what you do over and over again that counts. And if you're consistent, you'll beat talent, you'll beat luck, and you'll beat the odds. Because most people won't stick with anything long enough to see it through. So stop waiting for the right time, the perfect moment, or the mood to strike. Show up every day. Put in the work. Make the call. Write the page. Practice the skill, even when it's not convenient. Especially when it's not convenient. Because every time you choose consistency over comfort, you're investing in the future version of you. The one who reaps the rewards most people only dream about. Stay focused. Stay calm. Two simple ideas, yet together they form a powerful foundation for navigating life with wisdom, strength, and purpose. Because let's be honest, life can be chaotic. Distractions are everywhere. Pressures mount. People demand your attention. Unexpected problems pop up at the worst time. And in the middle of it all, you have to make decisions. Stay on track and keep moving forward. That's why staying focused matters so much. Without focus, your energy gets scattered. You end up busy but not productive. You react to everything around you instead of moving deliberately toward your goals. Focus is about knowing what matters most and protecting your attention like it's gold. Because it is. Where your focus goes, your life follows. But it's not just about focus. It's about staying calm while you focus. Because when pressure hits, emotions flare. Fear creeps in. Doubt starts talking. If you don't stay calm, your focus collapses. You start making decisions based on anxiety instead of strategy. You start moving out of impulse instead of intention. And that's how people lose their edge. They panic when they should be poised. Calm doesn't mean passive. It doesn't mean you don't care. It means you've learned how to manage your internal world, even when the external world is unpredictable. It means you've trained yourself to take a breath, gather your thoughts, and respond, not react. Calm is a kind of inner strength, and it shows up strongest when things around you are falling apart. When you can stay calm, you give yourself space to think. You make smarter decisions. You see more clearly. And when you pair that calm with consistent focus, you become incredibly effective. You stop wasting energy on things that don't matter. You stop chasing every noise or reacting to every comment. You stay locked in on your goals. Quiet, steady, determined. This kind of presence is rare. Most people are in a constant state of distraction and reactivity. They're pulled in a dozen directions, always chasing the next thing, constantly drained and overwhelmed. But when you make a commitment to stay focused and stay calm, you separate yourself from the crowd. You become the kind of person others look to when things get uncertain. Think of it like a storm. Most people are the leaves tossed around by the wind, unsure of where they'll land. But when you stay focused and stay calm, you become the tree, rooted, grounded, unmoved. The storm may rage, but you remain. That's power. That's leadership. That's the foundation for success. So whatever you're facing right now, whether it's a big goal or a big challenge, protect your focus, guard your calm, cut out the noise, silence the panic, and keep your eyes on where you're going. You don't have to have all the answers right now. You just have to keep moving forward, one steady step at a time. And if you do that long enough, day by day, week by week, you'll look up one day and realize that while everyone else was scrambling, you were building something solid. While they were reacting, you were creating. While they were distracted, you were becoming. Stay focused. Stay calm. That's how the real work gets done. That's how you win the long game. Stay focused. Stay calm. Two simple ideas, yet together they form a powerful foundation for navigating life with wisdom, strength, and purpose. Because let's be honest, life can be chaotic. Distractions are everywhere. Pressures mount. People demand your attention. Unexpected problems pop up at the worst times. And in the middle of it all, you have to make decisions. Stay on track and keep moving forward. That's why staying focused matters so much. Without focus, your energy gets scattered. You end up busy but not productive. You react to everything around you instead of moving deliberately towards your goals. Focus is about knowing what matters most and protecting your attention like it's gold. Because it is. Where your focus goes, your life follows. But it's not just about focus. It's about staying calm while you focus. Because when pressure hits, Emotions flare. Fear creeps in. Doubt starts talking. If you don't stay calm, your focus collapses. You start making decisions based on anxiety instead of strategy. You start moving out of impulse instead of intention. And that's how people lose their edge. They panic when they should be poised. Calm doesn't mean passive. It doesn't mean you don't care. It means you've learned how to manage your internal world, even when the external world is unpredictable. It means you've trained yourself to take a breath, gather your thoughts, and respond, not react. Calm is a kind of inner strength, and it shows up strongest when things around you are falling apart. When you can stay calm, you give yourself space to think. You make smarter decisions. You see more clearly. And when you pair that calm with consistent focus, you become incredibly effective. You stop wasting energy on things that don't matter. You stop chasing every noise or reacting to every comment. You stay locked in on your goals. Quiet, steady, determined. This kind of presence is rare. Most people are in a constant state of distraction and reactivity. They're pulled in a dozen directions, always chasing the next thing, constantly drained and overwhelmed. But when you make a commitment to stay focused and stay calm, you separate yourself from the crowd. You become the kind of person others look to when things get uncertain. Think of it like a storm. Most people are the leaves tossed around by the wind, unsure of where they'll land. But when you stay focused and stay calm, you become the tree, rooted, grounded, unmoved. The storm may rage, but you remain. That's power. That's leadership. That's the foundation for success. So whatever you're facing right now, whether it's a big goal or a big challenge, protect your focus, guard your calm, cut out the noise, silence the panic, and keep your eyes on where you're going. You don't have to have all the answers right now. You just have to keep moving forward, one steady step at a time. And if you do that long enough, day by day, week by week, you'll look up one day and realize that while everyone else was scrambling, you were building something solid. While they were reacting, you were creating. While they were distracted, you were becoming. Stay focused. Stay calm. That's how the real work gets done. That's how you win the long game. Don't take it personally. That simple piece of wisdom can save you years of frustration, wasted energy, and emotional exhaustion. Because let's be clear, not everything that happens around you is about you. People will say things, do things, misunderstand you, overlook you, criticize you, or even ignore you, and most of the time it has more to do with them than it does with you. See, when you start taking everything personally, you start carrying burdens that don't belong to you. You internalize every comment, every rejection, every bit of resistance, and it begins to chip away at your confidence, your peace, and your sense of direction. You end up second-guessing your decisions, questioning your worth, and worst of all, shrinking your potential just to avoid conflict or criticism. But here's the truth. People see the world through their own filter. Their actions are a reflection of their experiences, their wounds, their insecurities, not your identity. When someone lashes out, they're showing you their struggle. When someone doubts you, they're exposing their own limitations. When someone doesn't believe in your dream, it's usually because they gave up on theirs. That's why emotional maturity is learning to separate what's happening from what it means. Just because someone criticizes you doesn't mean they're right. Just because someone doesn't appreciate you doesn't mean you're not valuable. And just because someone leaves, changes, or disappoints you doesn't mean you're broken. It means life is happening.